Fellas, when a woman who once lit up your text messages starts leaving you on red, she's not playing games. She's playing done. And the only loser in that kind of game is you. Because you thought she was playing before when she was trying to keep you from getting to this point. Let me tell you something, man. We be thinking that a lot of times when a woman is being silent, being quiet, she's giving a silent treatment to teach us a lesson. She's stonewalling. She's trying to make us hurt. No, she's done hurting. She's done hurting. Like when a woman that truly cared about you, let me just make that very clear, because it's different if a woman didn't really care about you and she's just a manipulator. I understand those types of women do exist. But when you got you a woman that with her track record proved that she loved you and she fought and she tried, and then all of a sudden she just stops, that woman and her silence, that silence is your last straw. I'm reminded of, and this is why I want to talk about this, because I saw a comment on one of my old posts, but it reminds me of a sister that came into, matter of fact, she booked a Zoom call with me. This had to be about 5-6 years ago. I was down in Atlanta at the time. Anyway, I remember the very first Zoom call she booked with me. She looked a mess. She looked like she ain't been sleeping. Her eyes looked like, they were kind of red. She had a little piece of tissue in her hand that she was just balling up and using until it fell apart, just like her relationship. Because she was in her late 30s, I believe. So this was, in her mind, towards the end of her fertility window. She wanted to have a family. She wanted to have marriage. And she felt like, she had waited, did all the right things. And this was her chance. She had this guy, let's call him James. They had been together for about 2.5, 3 years. But James was playing. He started off doing all the right things, but then he got complacent or comfortable or something. And he started playing. And here she was booking a session. And I asked her, where's James? Do both of y'all want to get on this call? Because, I'm all about restoration if there's something to restore there. But James refused. And this had gone on for months where it was basically her. And now she's going to a third party because she's desperate. She don't know what to do. Now, anytime, I'm going to just let y'all in on something. Anytime I'm dealing with a situation where there's one person fighting, my prescription is always going to be to stop. Not only stop, but go no contact. For those of y'all even thinking about if you're in my mentorship program, anything like that, you already know. My prescription is going to be to stop fighting, start finding yourself, and go no contact. So she was reluctant at first. Sarah was very reluctant at first, but eventually she gave in. Then about 1.5 months had gone by. She ain't just go no contact with James. She went no contact with me. I wasn't sure what was going on. And then she booked another session with me. And this time when she got on, she looked like a completely different woman. She looked like she'd been sleeping good. There wasn't no bags under her eyes. It looked like her skin had been tended to. It looked like her hair was good. Like she looked like she was putting focus back on her lately. And I asked her, I said, hey, what's going on? What changed? She was like, I don't know, D. I took your advice. I went no contact. It was hard. But I can't even bring myself to care anymore about him. That's why I wasn't sure if I should even book this session. I'm fine if you keep the money for the hour, but I don't even know if I need it because I don't care and I can't bring myself to care. I can't make myself care. But I had questions. So I was like, did James hit you up? Did he reach out? Did he try anything? Because I already knew, they always spin the block once they see that you're really done. She was like, oh, yeah. He tried. He tried over and over again. He sent flowers. He sent text. He tried to send messages by way of my friends until I told them they need to block him too, or they're going to get blocked if they keep coming to me. He tried everything. I said, you know what? Let me guess. He thought your silence was a strategy, when in reality it was a symptom of your heart now accepting what your mind had been denying for so long, which is that you deserve so much better. Sure enough, James is another man that learned too little too late. Fellas, when that woman that truly cared about you goes silent, that's your final straw. That's your final straw. When silence becomes her language, it's because rejection has become her teacher. And she's done learning that lesson. She stopped explaining herself because she realized you were never listening. And at a certain point, a woman is going to put a value on herself. Even if you don't recognize that value, she's going to value her own energy, her own time, her own words as she continues to invest in resolving whatever conflict. It's like you ain't got to respect her, but she's not going to be complicit in your disrespect. You don't want to get to that point. Every ignored concern, every ignored desire and plea to talk and open up so you guys can move through this. It was like a brick, each one like a new brick that built a wall of quiet, that built a wall of giving up on you and not letting you in. That endless cycle of hope and then disappointment, then hope, then disappointment, it exhausted her. That's why she went quiet on you. That's why she stopped talking. It ain't because she ain't got nothing to say. It's because she said so much and she realized you're not understanding what she's saying vocally. So maybe her actions can speak. And whether or not you get that message might not be none of her concern by that time. Like, I want my brothers to understand something. Her emotional unavailability is just an echo of yours. Just because you was in a relationship don't mean you were really available to her. She got the message. But when you get a woman and she goes silent on you, all she's doing is mirroring the same distance you created. She's not shutting down because she don't know how to be open or because she's a dismissive, avoidant attachment or because she's trying to be manipulative or something. No. All of those delayed responses, they are literally a match for your pattern of neglect in a relationship. When she goes quiet like that, when she goes cold, it seems cold, don't it? That's just a reflection of your consistency in disrespecting her, disappointing her. That's what that coldness is. Y'all let me know, because I'm just a man speaking based on what I've seen. Ladies, y'all let me know if I'm speaking facts. Please do. If I'm speaking fiction, tell me. If I'm speaking facts, please tell me in the comments if I'm speaking facts. We think silence is the absence of sound. But a woman's silence is the sound of her boundaries actually being upheld. She's done explaining, giving ultimatums. She's done giving these thesis statements. She's done giving these paragraphs, these 4-page letters. Her silence is the sound of her boundaries finally being upheld. At some point, man, you keep playing in that woman's face. She's going to choose peace over painful conversations where you're clearly not listening. Her silence, her being quiet, is her protection, not your punishment. You see, you can't make everything about you. You can't make everything about you. The world don't revolve around you. And that's the thing about a loyal woman's love. It'll fool you into thinking that because she's got such tunnel vision on you, you'll think that her whole world revolves around you, but that's not the case, my brother. And then the absence of her begging, it'll let you know there's a new presence of her own self-respect. She stops begging and begging and begging for what she already freely gives you. That's letting you know her self-respect has gone to a new level. Y'all be so mad with a woman that nags and always wants to argue. Let me tell you something. When that woman stops arguing, she's probably done investing as well. You see, there's nothing a woman is going to run away from even faster than a man who takes every time she's trying to express her feelings and calls it arguing. Arguing, in that sense, that means she actually cares enough to fix things. Because whenever she's done with that quote-unquote arguing, that means she's accepted that things are what they are and she really don't care no more. And now she's valuing her peace over your presence. Y'all give yourselves way too much credit thinking that a woman will do anything, including losing her mind and losing herself in order to keep you. No, not every woman. Not every woman. Y'all think that a woman who's being silent is playing some type of game, that her silence is not a game. It's her goodbye. It's her goodbye. She's realized that the relationship has ended. She's processed the relationship's end internally. And now that's the external expression of it. That quiet is not temporary. It is terminal. And you got it mixed up because you thought she wasn't really pulling away from you until she was actually done. You thought she was all in until she was actually done. No, we've said it a million times before, but a woman leaves mentally and emotionally before she ever leaves physically. She was grieving you when you were still present. She was grieving you when y'all were still together. That's why she was fighting so hard. She was grieving you then. But by the time she starts going quiet, it's because her heart has finally grown wise. It's finally listening now. You see, so many times a woman's heart and mind be on separate pages. But boy, when they get on one, and her mind is identifying what it is, she gonna start realizing her worth without your validation. She gonna gain that clarity without your confusion. Am I making sense to anybody? Angie says, day one of silence because you're done begging. Y'all better listen. I'm trying to tell you because I can say it, but you know, when y'all let me know for speaking facts because men always like to discredit me and then it'd be too late by the time they want some help. Whole time y'all are in there in the comments by the dozens, by the hundreds, sometimes the thousands, letting them know exactly how you feel. Everybody can't be lying, fellas. All these women can't be lying. At some point, a woman's peace is going to be louder than all your promises that you don't keep, by the way. So be very mindful. And this is to my sisters out there because it ain't just for men to wisen up and understand. It's also for y'all to understand. All that intermittent reinforcement of a man saying, I'm going to do right, and he does right for a little bit, just to get you to stop being quiet, that's only going to cause your central nervous system to get familiar with anxiety and depression. It's going to be an emotional roller coaster that it's going to get addicted to. Not just familiar with, but addicted to. Be very mindful of that. Be very careful about men who try to turn it around as if you don't want to talk and you don't want to communicate. When the whole time they didn't want to value your communication. They didn't want to listen to what you were saying. They like to leave out the part that came before your silence. And that gaslighting is going to lead to self-destruction. If you're not careful, if you don't close your ears to the nonsense, you got to be very mindful of your ear gates, sisters. Very mindful of your ear gates, what you allow in. And for those, you never been in that situation, God bless you. But I'm telling you right now, there are men who will do this to you. If you've never been with a man that drove you to that point where you had nothing left to say, watch out for those with these red flags, the inconsistent communication patterns. Because first it starts out with him kind of being hot and cold, off and on, withdrawing, then giving, then open, then not. It starts with him doing it. Then all of a sudden he wants your button to press on whenever he's ready to finally talk and listen, or at least pretend he is. Watch out for that red flag. Another one is whenever he minimizes your feelings. These are the men that don't like to hear what you have to say until your actions start speaking. But by that time, it's already too late for him and it hurts for you. You shouldn't have to be 1 foot out the door just for a man to want to keep you inside. That's a lot for the heart to endure, even if you're tough enough to leave a person like that. That's a lot. Or if he love bombs you, then withdraws and love bombs you, then withdraws and love bombs you, and then he gets comfortable and then withdraws all over again. Then he feels like you're leaving and he love bombs you again. Be very careful. That's a red flag. Promises that he never follows through with. And a lot of times this comes from a man's internal environment that he has not yet done the work on. You see, a man who is immature, and immature It is, but it isn't an insult. It should be something a man should be ashamed of being. But honestly, immature just means he has not evolved. He has not grown. He has not done any work. It's just bare materials. There's nothing that's been put together. And as far as the infrastructure of a man, it's just there. The materials are there. That's why it looks good. That's why it looks the part. But he has not done the work. And this is the mistake a lot of women make. They're like, I'm going to come in and I'm going to build him for him. You can't do that. Either he's done the work to become the alpha male he's supposed to be, or he ain't going to get there. And I'm going to tell you, the worst case scenario is that he does get there, but at your expense. And then leaves what's left of you to go on to another woman who requires him to be ready, built by the time he even comes her way. Stop me when I start lying. A true alpha male is not this perfect man who done made it in life on every area. He ain't got no more work to do. A true alpha man is one who has done the work on himself. He's prepared that kingdom internally so that whenever you come into his life, it never feels like you're getting knocked off the throne. That's an alpha male. You don't have to worry about him projecting onto you all of this internal instability, all of these abandonment wounds, all of these insecurities, all of these mind games to try to be in a power struggle with you because he doesn't know how to coexist in a partnership. You don't have to worry about that. With a man who has done the work on himself, 99% of what you receive from a man in a relationship is really just a reflection of what he has going on in here. So when he has in here done the work to become an alpha male, guess what you're going to get treated like? You're on a pedestal as well. Like you're at a high standard that he holds himself to. Nothing's wrong with the projection, but what is he projecting onto you? And for those of y'all who have never dealt with a man that has truly done the work, so that whenever you come into his life, there's just elevation, there's growth, there's motivation, there's support, there's encouragement, there's safety, there's all those things. If you've never been with a man like that, it's more than likely because you don't even know how to attract that kind of man. You know how to be attractive. You know how to be sexy. You know how to be cute. You know how to be welcoming. You know how to be attractive. But in terms of attracting specifically the alpha males and therefore deterring everybody less, there are 7 key strategies to doing that on a dating scene that will prevent you from wasting time with those who are not equally yoked with you on an energetic and spiritual level. I discussed that in my free masterclass. We'll be here all day if I try to go in depth here. If you want more on that topic, I put the link down here in the comment section. I pinned it at the bottom. You may even see a little link icon if you're watching on Facebook. But secrets to attracting alpha males only. I talked about it for free. Okay? And again, the link is down here in the comment section. If you see the link right here, secrets to attracting alpha males, click that and register so you can watch right after we get off here. The email will be waiting for you in your email. The link is also in the caption by the title of this. But moral of the story is this. If you've already experienced a man like this, you definitely got some work to do. If you have not yet, you got some red flags to recognize. But either way it goes, understand your silence is not your weakness. It's your wisdom. Your wisdom that's finally speaking louder than your wishes. And sometimes the most powerful thing that you can say is nothing at all. If you agree, share this right now on your timeline so we can spread this truth. We need more people who are bold enough to spread this truth when we got so many people out here promoting BS. And then also, if you want more content like this for free, specifically on the topic of how to attract alpha males, men who have done the work and they're ready now for a woman who has also done the work on herself, click the link that you see pinned down here in the comment section. It's going to bless you. You'll be glad you watched it and you're going to regret it if you don't. It's absolutely free, but I'm bringing it down soon.